keep it interesting, I would be considered like other world god or something, a goddess. Um,
A goddess, I see.
a god.
Changing gender and getting isekai. So. It's about a show that you knew, but I will not be that manga reader who spoils. It's Witch Hat Italia. I will only talk about the first 2 episodes or the first 3 episodes if you've already watched episode 3.
Hello there. In today's episode, as I said already in the last episode, we will make our own powers if we are in different anime scenarios. Everyone has prepared some powers in different universes, and we will, yeah, we will show it to you guys what we thought about if we would have anime powers in anime verses.
Some wish fulfillment, basically, to
Yes,
concise this young man's long yapping.
yes. But I have to warn you, I'm sick, so yeah, um, a little bit coughing here and there. So I'm sorry for that.
Dislike it already. Unacceptable.
Okay, should I start with the first power that I gave myself?
Yes.
For this one, I chose the isekai genre, and I would get isekai'd by, I don't know, maybe driving into a tree or something. When I'm too fast on the highway or something, then
Bro's already preparing when he has his driving license. I know in which car I won't be, or in which car I will not be. I don't want to get isekai'd.
Sad. A double isekai would be nice. Um, yes, and I would be the I would get the exponential growth, the passive growth. I get XP through doing absolutely nothing, being lazy, and this this gives me XP, and this XP I can skill into, I don't know, strength, agility, and so on.
Your classical RPG stats.
Yes, but I get those XP through doing nothing, sleeping, chilling at home, because it fits me. I am lazy in the real world as well, so of course I had to choose this. Yes.
An active lifestyle.
Yeah, I can evolve my abilities to get even stronger abilities. For example, I can cut a tree by just looking at it if I have the max amount of tree cutting. I can basically level everything, like tree cutting, alchemy, everything that our real world has to offer. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes, but the twist is, to keep it interesting, I would be considered like other world god or something, a goddess. Um,
A goddess, I see.
a god.
Changing gender and getting isekai. So.
A god. Everyone would consider me a god, and I would be quite famous, and I wouldn't get my piece because everyone wants to get a piece of me.
The classical, let's call it, chill isekai setting.
Yes, but it would fit me a lot because I am a lazy guy, and so a lazy isekai setting would fit me perfectly, I would say.
Could be, yes.
Yes, so that's for the first scenario that I um prepared. What do you think?
It's quite vague, but it's nice to have some general scenarios and not to be too specific with the powers that you have.
Hmm.
I also have some one or two more vague scenarios, so
Okay. Um, for the next one, it's obviously related to football because I'm playing football in real life, and for this power, I would be something like Isagi in Blue Lock. Um, I have the so-called meta vision. Um, in real life, you could call it space interpreter, Thomas Müller.
or you would have a Sharingan from Naruto, where you can predict your opponent's moves
Yes,
and
something
stuff.
like this. I could basically smell a goal 5 passes away
Mm.
from it.
Also quite fitting with a Sharingan. With a Sharingan, you could copy stuff like Kakashi,
Hmm.
because Isagi copies at times stuff from his opponents when he competes with them or devours them
Yes,
and converts their skills into his own.
yes, but I have a signature move, which is my power shot, where I can shoot from basically 20 to 30 meters accurate, because my shoots are crazy. I have high shot power in real life.
Basically like Rin and Barrow.
Yes. I can pinpoint 20 meters from out of the box and still make it a goal.
If I wanted to have a football signature, I would choose Robin's move, obviously, because that one has style.
Yeah, but for me, it's basically a power shot. Nothing spectacular, just a power shot.
Those are the most fun ones.
Yes. Not like a knuckleball or not what other shot types? Rabona or something like this.
No special rainbow flicks and stuff.
Yes.
Bicycle kicks.
Yes, yes. So that's about my second ability. If I would go into a sports anime like football that I prepared. What do you think about this one? Do you
I have
think?
also something connected with my hobby,
Okay.
so I can understand your thinking approach.
What do you think it would suit me?
Hmm. The problem is, I have never seen you play football, so that's hard for me to judge.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
So, but it would definitely benefit you not to trash talk your football skills, but if you give yourself an ability to be better at football, it obviously should benefit you.
Hmm.
So I think you should know what benefits you and where you need not improvement or which skills you would hone.
Yes.
So let's say it like that.
I'm sadly not a speedster type like Shigiri or Loki.
Hmm. When I played football, me neither. I was the GOAT goalkeeper. I had great reflexes and great
Nice.
footwork, but on
Nice.
field I was meh.
So not a sweeper keeper like Neuer.
A bit. But I used my foot more in 1v1s
Okay.
to parry some low shots.
Yes. The next one that I've prepared is in a battle shonen, and this one would be something with my unlimited willpower. I would be basically unbreakable because I just can't give up in a battle. I just want to win every battle that I have. Um, I don't know a character that never gives up out of my hand. Do you know a character that never gives up and is known for its willpower.
A lot of shonen MCs.
Yeah,
Natsu, for example.
true,
He
true.
doesn't give up because the power of friendship comes and he fights for his friends to protect.
Yes, yes. So I can basically get beaten down to a pulp, but I won't give up. Um, yeah, and I will turn the pain into kinetic energy to defeat my opponent because he overpowered himself, and I can easily finish him off. Um, yes, the mentality is also what's really important for me because I have a strong mentality when it comes to fighting or winning. That's connected to my football as well because I don't want to lose. I hate to lose in football, and yeah, I get angry when I lose, but I don't let it out on others. I maybe punch a door or something, but I
You
don't.
let it out when your favorite team loses. You also hated that. You're also quite competitive there.
Yes, that's one of my strengths. I'm very competitive about everything that I like. And yes, I really hate it when I'm about to lose something.
I mean, a good sportsman should have a drive to win or better himself every time.
Yes.
Because
Whenever,
if you don't have that, then, well, you are probably not a great sportsman or don't have a great future in that department. If you want to compete, not do it for fun.
yes. Um, I could basically beat an enemy that's stronger than 2 times me with just my willpower and my mentality, I would say, through my powers of being unbreakable. Because being unbreakable is absolutely a very good power. Just imagine you punch someone like 100 times and you still haven't won the battle. You're just frustrated and confused, and then you get one punch and you KO. This must suck.
The skill that you describe is also, by the way, a very nice trait to have in real life. For example, when you fail an exam in uni, you should not give up and think to yourself, "Oh, I fail. Oh, when I fail the next one, maybe uni is not the right place." No, don't give up, and you need to push through it. Same at work, for example, or at other stuffs in life.
Yes.
Being tenacious is very good,
Yes,
and don't have self doubt.
mhm. I have a strong mentality in myself. I know what I can do and know what I can't do. That's, yeah. So yes, that's about the third power that I made up. It's the Battle Shonen type, and I have only four. Now on to my last one, which is a rom-com setting.
Bro wants to become a Riz Lord.
Yes. um, I today watched an anime that would fit me a lot, which is Girls Can Talk to an Otaku. Um, I would be the same as the MC there. Basically, the quiet guy who reads manga in the classroom, chills at the back of the
But
seating.
that's my job in uni.
It's mine as well. I don't want to get yeah, I don't want to get involved in any of the others businesses. I just want to have my quiet reading session and then riz up a baddie, I would say.
Hmm.
Like the MC of Guys Can Talk to an Otaku. Bro whisked up two baddies at once. Um, yes,
But you need to be lucky to have an icebreaker then for that, because that's the main point of a show.
yeah.
That you that you need, or sometimes should have an icebreaker if you want to get to know people better.
Mm,
That's very important. That you have something where you can bond together, talk together, and have fun together.
yes,
Even though you will come from different places of life, or supposedly different places of life.
yes. But as a quiet guy, I have high social understanding of others, which would benefit me a lot because if you have good social understanding, it's easier to communicate with persons you really like. And yeah, if you really like someone, you're not even that quiet anymore because you're accustomed to someone.
Depends on your character,
Yes, that's true.
obviously.
Um, yes, the power
But
would.
it helps. But it helps if you are not socially as dumb as a rock as the classical harem FC who can't see any social cues and stuff.
Yes. The power in this scenario would be the sincerity of being a quiet guy who can then finally speaks when he gets accustomed to the person who acknowledges you.
Or who opens up when you find someone who has the same hobby or the
Yes,
same passion.
is maybe the person who I want to raise up sees my manga that I'm reading in class and then says, "Oh, cool, you're reading blah blah blah. I'm reading it too." And then you can easily get into a conversation with this person.
Yes, or you can find a girl who likes football, for example, who is the same fan as you.
Yes,
Who knows? Who knows?
yes. So that concludes my fourth and last one. What do you think about the last one?
Obviously, quite a wish fulfillment, but it's
Yes,
interesting that you picked an ERL power. Because
yes,
ERL powers are interesting because you can try to achieve it even without the anime or manga setting or the power per se. Because
mm,
you can set it as a goal and try to improve it on yourself to be more social and more accustomed to social interactions.
yes,
So even though it could be wish fulfilling, it could also be a goal which you can try to achieve.
mm,
The same goes for the unbreakable point. Because you can get superpowers, but you can get strong mental, or you can get better social skills. That's possible.
yes. So then, was was my part, and now we go on to your part.
Now comes the fun stuff, Kappa. Well, onto my part. Let's start with the most obvious power a reader wants to have. It's from one of a few manuas that I read. The power is called Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Who could have thought about the possibility that I wanted to have that? Well, what does the power do? It turns the world around me into a story, into a scripted story, and I have permanent access to that scripted story. The script is also very detailed, like, for example, One Piece is a very detailed script. And I could see other people's stats to the minutest detail, be it character traits, how strong, weak they are, and stuff. And I could also form bonds with those characters and get more option, not more options, more informations on them. And if I'm more familiar with them, I can even copy their abilities, which is nice. And I can also
Mm,
read to a certain extent the mind of those people because they are characters in the novel that I know. I also have something that you talked about before. And I have a strong mental defense, which is unbreakable. No trauma, for example. If the setting allows me, I could cheat death. Very nice. And with my knowledge, I can basically get any skill in the story that I am in. If the skill is obtainable through human matters. If it's something that I have to be born with, I can't get it, unfortunately. So, for example, if I need a certain devil fruit, I can get it. But if it's a hereditary skill, I can't get that. Sadly, though. And I would say Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint is great to have in every fictional setting or even the real life setting. Because knowing what happens in real life is also nice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a fictional approach. For example, in One Piece, I would knew what the One Piece is, and I would also knew why Blackbeard can have two devil fruits if it's not hereditary, and they can also have power, fame, connection, skills, and wealth because knowledge is power. But there's one downside
Yes.
to that skill, because I would be like Roger who knows what the One Piece is, but could I use it or would I fail like Roger did because I'm not Luffy? That's a question that we don't know in One Piece until now. But I would have at least the most OP devil fruit.
Mm.
That's nice. In real life, I would know when wars come. I could maybe solve them with some political maneuvering. I would know that inventions would come in the future. If I would be a rat, I could plagiarize them. I could also plagiarize famous books because I would know when they come, famous movies and stuff. The possibilities are limitless.
Yes.
So, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint is a great power. And for that, I want to ask you one question. In which setting
Mm.
would you like to have such a power? Would it be an ERL setting or a certain story?
I think an IRL setting would be more nice to have this.
Yes. You could also be great at studying, for example, with that.
Mm.
Imagine I, as a history student, would know the whole history of a world because it was written down in a big, great novel. Would be nice, would be nice.
Yes.
And what I also like about this power that, yes, it's giga broken on paper, but you have to still achieve this stuff, which makes it cool. And there can be still stronger people than you. Because you're not a protagonist, you are an onlooker who knows everything. The next one is about a show that you knew, but I will not be that manga reader who spoils. It's Witch Hat Italia. I will only talk about the first 2 episodes or the first 3 episodes if you've already watched episode 3. So no
Mm.
spoilers here. Well, you already knew how magic is casted. It's through drawings. I would want to have that because imbuing magic into objects is great. You've already seen some great examples, some portable fires, candles. You also seen the infinite water thing. The infinite drinkable water comes out. That is nice.
Yes.
You've already seen the flying shoes. Those are great. They could fly. So, this magic is nice. I would also have the fun of tinkering and creating objects. This is nice. And
Mm.
to combine that, to be the best mage in the world of Witch Hat Italia. Or in real life, if I would have that power in real life, I have two powers which I want to draw upon. I either want to have one stand, Heaven's Door, for obvious reasons, or I want to have a skill of a top tier mangaka. Like my favorite mangaka, you know who it is, right?
Shinichi, right?
Shinichi Sakamoto, you're right. The guy who makes Innocent in DRCL. Because I would be able to do the straightest and best lines. The best magic there would have ever been. Because my drawing skill would be through the roof. And with that, I would, in the real world, I would live quite a I would say, quite a cozy life in a house where I'm by myself, making my magical objects, helping friends with them, and I would not make it public, like Harry Potter. Then I
Mm.
would also be in the spirit of Witchet, because then it would be similar like your chill isekai setting. Because then everybody would bombard me, they wanted to have magical inventions, yada yada yada, but I just wanted to be a quiet guy who lives his quiet life.
Mm. Yes.
So in that regard, quite similar to one of yours, I would say.
True. True.
And you will see in the future of Witchet that there are also some grander and better magic. So I would be chilling if I could do that. So this would be my second power. My third power is from. I would draw power from Shadow, from Eminence and Shadow, for two reasons. Up first, it would. For three reasons. Up first, I would like to have Shadow's proficiency and precisement, because one of his strengths, besides his magical power, is that he is very skilled and in technique. You can see it when he, for example, plays the piano, how proficient he is. With this power, I could basically learn everything where I need to use my hands. I would be top tier in every sport, would be very proficient in playing every instrument or in crafting stuff. Which would be an awesome power, would be awesome. The second power of Shadow is, well, the Shadow Garden. It's also kind of his power. I would be top of a, let's call it great. I would be a CEO, basically, who have a lot of underlings, who are
Mm-hmm.
also quite good looking. Also, very nice, very nice. I would be rich, have a lot of henchmen, would be leading a big empire. Big W, big W. But no, the best power that Shadow has, which is quite hidden. Would you be able to guess Shadow's hidden power, or should I explain it?
Explain it to me.
Plot conveniency. Shadow is a bumbling idiot who roleplays all the time or does stupid shit. But in the end, he comes out at the right point where the plot needs him to be, or the plot follows him when he makes stuff up. For example, the Cult of Diablos, where he basically created them in the backstory with Alpha, where he randomly named them like that, and then they started existing, basically. I would want to have that, where I could do whatever I want, and would still come out at the right point where I needed to be. That would be the greatest power in real life, I would say, because I can have fun and still succeed, no matter what I do. So, plot convenience, a great power, a great power.
Yes, I would love to have it this way.
Then, my fourth power, which is also quite interesting, I would want to have the ability of Master of Fedora from Yuya Tenjo from the show. It's a long one. I got a cheat skill in another world and become unrivaled in the real world too. I hope that's the right title. I did it out of my thoughts, but it should be right. The gist of that show is, first of all, Yuya is basically Sung Jin Woo in terms of power and how it works, so a level system and item system and stuff. But he can also learn like real life skills like cooking and stuff, which are nice. He also like Sung Jin Woo gets hotter when he levels up. Quite welcome, quite welcome.
Mhm.
But the coolest part is that in his house there's a door to another world, which connects the other world with the real world, and he can hop between the planes. Now a fun question. Between which isekai world and would you hop? So which isekai world should be connected with our world? That's an interesting question,
Oh.
which makes, besides that, the show is rather, well, it's an isekai power fantasy. There's nothing new. But this aspect makes the show cool. You can also bring people from our world in the isekai world and the other way around, which is nice. So it can be like a tour guide to another world.
Mm.
That's why I wanted to have this ability. I also have a shop system where I could trade currencies between worlds or sell stuff from the world in the other world to be loaded, which would be nice.
Yeah, would be really cool.
Yes. So I could travel between two worlds with big from. I could even cast magic and stuff. So what else do you want? What else do you want? It's also nice if you're into traveling, because double the worlds means double the travel. Double the cultures to
True.
explore. Big W. Especially if you're super fast, super rich, can teleport and stuff. I would make great holidays if I had that ability.
Yeah.
Then now the last two are some kind of half baked because I couldn't decide on one, and they are
Okay.
also kind of quick because of that. Up first, I either wanted to be a Gundam ace pilot, paired with some scientific knowledge. We can put Senko in, for example, they can relate. Because if I would pilot a Gundam in outer space, travel to different planets and colonies, I would need to maintain that thing and need to upgrade that to be the strongest Gundam pilot because my robot needs to be better than everyone else because I don't want to die. And it would be also quite fitting for Senko if I would travel through space with a giant robot because its dream is
Mm.
space exploration, which would be nice.
Yeah.
And we also knew that Senko's good at crafting, and it would fit his character to craft a giant robot.
Yes.
So that would be nice. I would either be in the army doing mercenary work, help to build colonies, fight space pirates, space terrorists, and stuff. I would be a good person who helps people.
Nice.
And travel through space. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And shoot people for a big robot gun. That would also be funny. And a blast. Oops. I would like to have the powers of Klein Moretti from Lord of the Mysteries. I've done it half baked because, well, I don't know the full extent of his powers. He is like Shadow and has the Shadow Garden, which is nice. He can also see a bit in the future, which is nice. And has, in general, like seeing powers, so I could use the tricks of mediums and divination stuff and ask if something's wrong or right, for example, and get a lot of info through that. I would also be proficient in sports and fighting, which is nice. And from the powers that I know, Clay Moretti's all is just at the start of his powers. Because in Lord of the Mysteries there are ranks 9 through 1, and 1 is good. And those powers I described you are at rank 8. So there's a lot of growth. So in the end, when I finish this novel, I will probably said, yes, those powers I want 100%. Because they would be giga broken. Similar to Omnis and Reader's viewpoint.
Okay.
So this is a future prediction that I want to have those powers in the future when I finish Lord of Mysteries. Future me would want that.
Yes. I can think so.
What is the favorite from the ones that I've listed? What is your favorite, Mr. Keyword?
Uh, I think something like omniscient readers.
Is
It would
that
be quite OPS.
It's the most broken and complex one, yes.
Yes.
You can do a lot of shit with that.
Mm. Or the shadow thing.
Plot convenience, quite nice, yes, yes.
Yes.
It
Or
would.
you could basically
Go on, go on.
travel through two worlds, and yeah, you can get rich really easily if you say stuff from our world to
Mm,
the other world, or say stuff from the other world to our world. You
yes.
can get rich really fast.
I would also be correct at sports, at football, for example, like in your example, because in
Mm.
the Isekai Light novel, the guy tries to play football at a school and try to not stand out, but obviously fails because he's too broken, which is quite funny. He's the goat at the
Yes.
goal. He's a goat goalkeeper, let's say it like that. Prime Neuer's nothing compared to him with his reflexes. But on those were my powers, and if you don't have anything else, this the episode.
Yes.
What will
What
we
will
do
we do
next
in the
episode?
next?
Yes.
Tell me.
In the next episode, we have a battle, a one-on-one, where each of us presents, not presents, where each of us decides like 5 topics. And for each topic, we need to recommend a show. We have 1 minute, and after 1 minute, we are finished. And then we decide who had the better recommendation. For example, I pick the field of romance. Both of us need to present a good romance show in 1 minute. You could also say power fantasy, action, shonen, horror, and stuff. The only thing is that it need to be a field where both of us has some expertise.
Okay.
Like I can say, okay, one v one me on history, anime, and manga. That does not work. Bro would
Yes.
recommend Demon Slayer, and I would kill him because he does not know any of us. That
Yes.
does not work. And with that, we can also train our TikTok brain. Because making a good recommendation, let's say 1 minute, could be good for social media shorts, could be good training.
Mm.
Because for that, you probably write a script for each recommendation to bring it across better. So
Yes.
you can make your training, make good progress. And in the end, you should have like 20 banger recommendations, hopefully, which would also be
Mm.
nice. And maybe the other guy recommends something for the other as well. Could also be good.
Yes.
Maybe the so-called romance connoisseur has a recommendation up his sleeve, which I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
Could be, but enough yapping.
Yes.
I need to watch the new Twitch Atelier episode, so we need to end this episode right now. Have a nice rest of your day. And
Yes. Thank you for tuning in to this
I will book
episode.
it and watch Peak. Bye.
Bye.